Welcome back to the Paige Kornblue Show. PK here with a solo episode on happiness. Happiness on hold. Happiness, the journey. Happiness as the way. Happiness is not something we can feel every moment of the day. We all know that, right? But it is certainly something we can find a little more of each day and day by day in some way. My mom loved reading and collecting books, novels, autobiographies, cookbooks, inspirational quote books, book club books, sports books, all of them. They lined her walls in her home office, and they brought her such joy. Most cards she wrote contained a quote. Birthday cards had quotes about love and life. Cards sent to me at summer camp or college had quotes she'd find about never giving up, or finding that spring in our step, or enjoying the day. Get well cards had uplifting quotes. And remember, these were the days before Google and cell phones were a thing. She would find these quotes in her books or out and about and write them down in her little notebooks that she had in her purse. And she kept files for the clippings of quotes she'd find in magazines or newsletters or the newspaper. And she titled these files Keepers. Keepers. Quotes or stories to keep and to share. Her favorites. These files were like her Instagram before Instagram. And after she passed away, I found more clippings and quotes and more notebooks and sticking out of more books and cookbooks and bags and drawers and photo albums. And here is one she clipped out of the Junior League of Boca Raton magazine called The Bridge. It was mailed to members in the summer of 2000. It's titled Happiness on Hold. We convince ourselves that life will be better after we get married, have a baby, then another. Then we are frustrated that the kids aren't old enough and we'll be more content when they are. After that, we're frustrated that we have teenagers to deal with. We will certainly be happy when they are out of that stage. We tell ourselves that our life will be complete when our spouse gets his or her act together, when we get a nicer car, when we are able to go on a nice vacation, or when we retire. The truth is, there's no better time to be happy than right now. If not now, when? Your life will always be filled with challenges. It's best to admit this to yourself and decide to be happy anyway. Happiness is the way. So treasure every moment that you have and treasure it more because you shared it with someone special. Special enough to spend your time with. And remember that time waits for no one. So stop waiting until your car or home is paid off, until you get a new car or home, until your kids leave the house, until you go back to school, until you finish school, until you lose 10 pounds, until you get married, until you get a divorce, until you have kids, until you retire, until summer, spring, winter, until you die. There is no better time than right now to be happy. Happiness is a journey, not a destination. So work like you don't need the money, love like you've never been hurt, and dance like no one's watching. Author unknown. You know, with so much swirling in our lives, happy doesn't always come easy. Do we have to learn happy? Create happy? Schedule happy? Sometimes. Sometimes happiness just happens, but often we must guide it. Personally, in the last few years, I've had a handful of those challenges. 3 unexpected whoppers. My mom dying of cancer, dad dying to several complications, and then divorce. None of those were the plan. Many days and moments chock full of sadness, but you lean on helpers and support systems and things that lift you up, things that allow you to feel and cry and sing. And be sure to hold on to the awesome moments that surround us too. For me, it was the great joys of being a mom. Beautiful moments of my kiddos in preschool and kindergarten, first and second grades, their sports games and weekend moments, all of it. Supporting charity events, writing, spending time with friends, traveling, playing tennis. Some really good stuff there mixed in with all of this sad. And in the midst of it all, you've got to find happy. This is why you say yes. Yes to moments and experiences that bring joy to your day, to your week, or life. Here are some things that make me happy, and I'm sure hoping you can relate. My kids, all the things they do, minus the fussing, of course. My friends' kids, my job, my other work projects, my hometown, traveling, taking photos, writing, coffee, good wine, writing with a cup of coffee or that nice glass of wine, music, mountains, oceans, lakes, trails, walks, sunrise and sunsets, football, baseball, tennis, moments shared with lots of people, solo moments, good manners, kindness, a wave and a read my lips thank you from someone when I let that pedestrian cross the road in front of my car at the stop sign. That matters to me. Saying yes to a project that moves me, a trip that sounds amazing, a date that sounds interesting, a dessert that looks delicious, allowing happy in even when it's a crazy time in your life, because life can always be crazy. As the quote I shared earlier said, your life will always be filled with challenges. It's best to admit this to yourself and decide to be happy anyway. Happiness is so hard and yet so easy to find. We learn it's a choice we can make at any given moment, regardless of our circumstances. For those of us who are parents, caregivers, career professionals, or all of the above, anyone who dedicates so much of their time to other people and to other projects, which is most of us, especially most of us taking the time to listen to a podcast today titled Happiness on Hold, then we're often putting our happiness on hold, right? Waiting to finish this before doing that, waiting on something else or someone else to create happiness for you or fix things for you. I've gathered some thoughts and tips from experts, ones I like, and hopefully their words will help you as they have helped and continue to help me. Oprah Winfrey simply says, the path to happiness is rarely a straight line, but there are so many opportunities for wisdom along the way. Marie Kondo, the well-known Japanese cleaning consultant, promotes the KonMari method and the life-changing magic of tidying up, cleaning, and organizing your home at once rather than little by little or room by room, and how putting your house in order positively affects all other aspects of your life, including work and including family. She says that a dramatic reorganization of the home causes correspondingly dramatic changes in lifestyle and perspective and is life transforming. She says her clients always sound so happy, and the results show that tidying has changed their way of thinking and their approach to life. It has changed their future. Why? Because Kondo writes, when you put your house in order, you put your affairs and your past in order too. And you can see quite clearly what you need in life and what you don't, and what you should and shouldn't do. This one is important to me and something I certainly need to work on myself. I still have bins and baskets lining a wall in my bedroom and others stuffed in some closets here and there, some following my divorce, but mostly belongings of my parents that I still want to go through, read through, digitize, capture, learn, some to keep, some to toss, but it sits there because there are so many other things to do that come first in a day. But dedicating some time to go through this stuff should be on my list of things to do. Got to work on that one tomorrow. Moral of this part is, for those of us who are a little older, when you have some downtime, go through that stuff. Go through your stuff so your kids don't have to. My goodness, so much is acquired in a lifetime. When it comes to happiness in parenting, clinical psychologist and parenting coach Dr. Laura Markham says connection is the secret to happy parenting. Our children need to know that we take joy in them and that deep connection makes peaceful parenting possible. And when you need to take a beat, those boiling point moments, Markham says to take 5. Help your body discharge that anger. Change your thoughts so you can change your feelings. Wait before disciplining, and choose your battles. Finding happiness after loss, this one is tough. As mentioned, I've lost my parents. Divorce means you lose a marriage, and all of those thoughts you had about life, how it would be for you and for your children, it is all hard. And so many have it harder. But you can have hope and happiness and joy amid suffering and sorrow. The little stuff, the big stuff, just focus on the small joys, life's positives, share personal stories, keep those you've lost present, honor those you've lost in all sorts of ways. Allow time to take care of yourself. Again, very hard for those parenting and caregiving for others, but so good to make that time. Seek meaning, celebrate progress, and work hard to foster connection. Regarding divorce here, a few specific things have helped me, so I just wanted to pass those along. My best friends, lean on them. Lean on yours. My therapist, find a good one. Podcasts and books on tape, all in that healing space. Allow all of those feelings. Co-parent the very best way you can. Try to keep the divorce proceeding civil. Create time and space for self-care, new routines. Mix up and update your living space to make it yours, full of things that make you smile, and keep on. In the practice, a book by Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life's Barb Schmidt. Barb starts her preface with an Abraham Lincoln quote. People are just as happy as they make up their minds to be. Barb explains that our minds are at the root of our unhappiness, and if that we can train our minds, we can be happy. When we know that deep happiness comes from within, we can better manage the daily stresses in our lives, the daily big ones and little ones. Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life offers practices and workshops to help get you there. And then there are podcasts. One I really enjoy is the Mel Robbins podcast. You can check out the following two. These are my favorites. One that dropped recently titled, How to Figure Out What You Really Want. And another one, it's titled, Let Them Theory. These two episodes are full of good theories that can help improve relationships and help you find happiness amongst all those challenges and relational situations. I am a big fan of Mel. Brene Brown says, joy is vulnerable. That's why we're afraid to let ourselves feel it. Don't squander joyful moments by waiting for the other shoe to drop. Lean in and practice gratitude. And I'm pulling up another one on my phone. I just found it moments before this podcast recording, and it's by Sylvester McNutt. It was in his e-newsletter to those of us that follow him. He's the author of the book, Live the Life You Deserve, and he recently wrote this. Our mindset is everything. As he shared recently on Instagram, quote, so much of life starts and ends with your mindset. The easiest way to radically shift your life is to change your level of thinking. You are the creator of your reality. This mindset has saved me and changed my life, he says. The power of your thoughts cannot be overstated. You might not realize it, but every thought you allow yourself to believe is shaping the world you live in. Your beliefs shape your reality, and by consciously shifting your mindset, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. You hear it all the time, right? One of the most significant shifts for him came when he stopped seeing challenges as obstacles and started viewing them as opportunities for growth. As he says, you are the creator of your reality. The mindset has saved me and changed my life. Also, he says to remember to celebrate yourself. You deserve it. Why? Because you've made it through every single challenge life has thrown at you, and you're still standing. Love that part. Still standing. All tend to agree that to find your happy, it helps to do the following things: practicing gratitude, mindfulness, setting realistic goals, meditation, working out, being physically active in some way, journaling, connecting, helping others, acts of kindness, finding work-life balance, if you can. We can't do it all at once, but we can find it here and there and work on the mind, those positive thoughts with a little help from others and from what we decide to do with our days. Overall, I'm happy, but there are certain moments in the day when you stop and you wonder, what in the world? Why me? Why now? One example is taking 3 kiddos to school in the morning, that morning rush, the commute to work, the stressful moments on the job, a challenging store clerk or client, or travel hiccup. So many things that can slow us down emotionally. The Harvard Gazette featured an article this summer on how leaders find happiness and teach it. It emphasizes that true happiness comes from internal factors and personal growth and meaningful relationships rather than external achievements. And how to find happiness? Well, leaders who are aware of their own values, strengths, and weaknesses tend to be happier. And no surprise, practices like mindfulness, focusing on what they're grateful for, modeling positive behaviors, and creating environments that promote well-being, finding purpose and satisfaction in their work, all contribute to happiness. I'm a fan of finding this in different ways. I have to mix it up. One day it's a walk, another day it's yoga, tennis, an afternoon with best friends, a trip to somewhere fun, planned or spontaneous, a cup of coffee, maybe two, creating, writing, sharing. I love to share my stories, my photos, my life in many ways. Not always, but many ways. Some have slowed me down, told me to stop. Don't do this. Don't do that. Not anymore. Not now. You know, there's something called fashion psychology. When we dress with confidence, it will help to feed our joy. As I mentioned in my mom's eulogy, she once told me how when my brother and I were little, she used to dress us in the brightest of colors on cloudy days. She chose yellows and oranges and reds. Those were her favorites, just to brighten up other people's days. When I became an adult, I noticed that she always did that. She would dress in bright colors, her favorites, so often. As she was battling that cancer, one day I remember my dad leaving to run some errands, and as he was walking out the door, she told him, as she was still not feeling good that day, she said, "Keep smiling." And he replied, "Tough today." And she said, "Oh no, especially today, you smile." Remember, we are not talking about a distant destination here, but a journey you can embark on right now. Happiness, the journey. Happiness as the way. I'm in. Let's go. Thanks so much for joining me on this Paige Kornblue Show solo episode here. They're few and far between, so I sure hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please subscribe, leave a review, follow this show, share it with friends. Some of them might benefit from a little reminder to cherish the now and find the happy. Until next time, cheers and joy.